Hello, and welcome back to the FEH banner review, where we talk about... I don't know anymore. But that's just because they didn't tell us on the calendar. I think we all knew it was going to be an Emblem banner, to be quite H. Today, we have a brand new emblem in Erica, and... yeah, it's an emblem, let's just move on. And as per tradition, I will be using this coveted small line graph that may or may not be small at the end of the day to rank the brand new emblem banner. Today's ranking will be based on how many Ericas there are in Fire Emblem Heroes, and it would be so sacred stone pilled of you if you subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate it a lot, thanks. The emblem unit we have this time around is none other than Erica, featuring a cameo from Ephraim. I always figured IS would try to separate the emblems for more money, but I guess that's not going to be a thing. That probably also means Chrom and Robin, as well as the Three Houses Lords, are going to be together as well. Cue 5 more years of Fire Emblem Three Houses discourse. This is also the 4th Erica that's connected to Ephraim in some capacity, first being the Duo, then the Brave, then Brave 2, the Attuned, and now Emblem. You can make a whole Emblem Erica team based on that concept. And speaking of Emblem Erica, we gotta actually talk about the unit. Emblem Erica comes with Azure Twin Edge, which is a slaying sword that grants empathy and breath to herself and allies at the start of each turn, gets a bunch of stats during combat, 20 speed-based true damage and damage reduction, as well as full no follow-up and style, which isn't too shabby for what it's worth. A lot of the stuff that makes Erica pop off really isn't from the weapon itself, but it's not bad by any means, and it still contributes a good bit to everything she does at the end of the day. Although if this is the 8th rate's defense meant to show that off, then I would get why people don't believe that to be the case. Awesome trapped in corner Ninja Lucina you got over there, IS. That said, if you are paying attention, then you may have heard me say style, which is a really important thing that will come up later in this video. Okay, later is over, let's talk about the style. Erica comes with a brand new style effect, which isn't actually based on her own ring effect. The style allows her to attack from 2 spaces away and grants adaptive damage, which seems just decent on paper until you realize 2 important things about it. The first and arguably most important part is that the style is counted as 1 range. This means if she were to attack from 2 spaces away, then no far save is going to be able to cover for that. You would need a near save specifically, and this is also really good if you can reach past a frontliner and smack somebody who isn't protected by that. You can effectively snipe units from the backline, which is not only scary, but also extremely absurd, and I wish all the developers over at Intelligent Systems a very pleasant and YouTube-friendly evening. Although, if anything, this just makes skills and effects such as Bulwark and Ice much more useful, because it can prevent Erica from even attempting that, even if it means the frontliner itself has no far safe protection in the end. But the only frontliners that exist right now are like Winter Allir and Legendary Fa and Desert Malice and Winter Allir with Edge Scales. Winter Allir with Edge Scales is a whole different beast of a unit. I promise you they are not the same. And second, the style is tied to her weapon, which means she can not only get around far saves and frontliners, but she could use any special to boot. This means you could potentially smack an entire team with an AoE, cause LMAO, get f***ed, I guess. That said, it's not like you'd replace her special all that often, if maybe ever, but it's technically an option she could go into, and it's pretty easy to get AoEs going to these days. And speaking of which, Erica also has a PRF special in Twin Strike, which is fairly unique as she is the 6th emblem to have a PRF special. And this is also where IS decides that specials can just be anything at this point, although I say that as if Emblem Ike's Great Aether didn't already break that mold. Twin Strike is a 3 cooldown special that grants 60% speed-based damage, unconditional dual phase Brave, null guard, and the standard 40% first hit damage reduction. Honestly, with everything in the game, this doesn't really come as much of a shock to me. It's a really strong special that, when combined with the rest of her kit, makes her really insane. Being able to smack anything from 1 to 2 range with Brave hits, far save bypass, and cavalry benefits is really strong. Maybe the only thing she's missing is Desperation just so she doesn't get hit back, but she could just be paired up with Brave Bernadetta, which might actually make her more of a monster. Being able to Brave Vantage against any melees on top of 4 back-to-back hits in the player phase seems like an idea I wish I didn't put out there just now. She could also pair this with Emblem Sigurd's Ring for additional threat range, although I say that as if I want a 4th emblem unit to have 6 range in the game. Remind me why Emblem units were allowed to use engage rings again. Emblem Erica also comes with not momentum, attack speed insight hone, and a brand new not B slot this time in Blue Skies 4, which is effectively attack speed mastery and excel combined into one new skill. It grants flat Canto 2, 8 attack and speed during combat, up to 8 true damage and true damage reduction on the foe's first hits, and yeah, that's it for the new skill. It doesn't have nearly as much true damage reduction as excel, but it's more consistent for both phases since the enemy phase just requires a spacing condition. However, it's also competing with the plethora of A slot options we have in the game, including... That said, it's also melee cav and flyer lock, so don't expect it to see it all too often besides on Erica. At least until they print it on more units, but if momentum is anything to go by, then it's permanently locked to Erica. I am still waiting for another unit with a momentum IS. And of course, we have to talk about the emblem effect. You know, the thing everyone here has been waiting 5 minutes and 51 seconds for. And now that we've gone over the brand new emblem unit, Erica's emblem effect gives extra damage on specials, and during the first combat either initiated by the unit or foe, you get inflicted with -4 attack during combat and you get brave hits. Honestly, it's not that bad of a ring. I know I should be like, I am concerned about the state of the game, but I actually don't think this ring is all that crazy. It's still an emblem ring, so it's naturally going to be useful, but it also feels weirdly balanced, which sounds stupid considering what it grants, but think about it. For starters, you only get the brave effect if the equipped unit is one range, aka melee, so there's already a natural limitation on who can use it. Not to mention the brave hits are only for the first combat that's initiated by the unit or foe, which can also be removed by a foe that prevents counterattacks. Also, I guess the -4 attack debuff exists too, but that's like the most filler balancing quote-unquote thing they put on the ring, and even saying balancing in quotes feels wrong. You know, it's funny that they even put the -4 attack clause on it because the special damage boost removes it anyway, so it's rarely ever going to come up. But yeah, I think they wanted to dial it back because free unlimited dual phase brave on a ring would have been kinda nuts. And yeah, Desert Marissa does exist, but it's not really the same thing. And maybe when you ignore Yunaka and the Three Houses Valentine's banner and Legendary Ira and Desert Marissa and the New Year's banner and whatever miscellaneous skills that also broke the game in half, it actually feels like they want to balance the game. I think I'm just lying to myself at this point. Now, the biggest question that may not in fact be the biggest question on people's minds: who even wants the ring? Honestly, I think the options are limited, but two of the units that immediately stand out to me for the ring are Ice Fjorm and the Snakes. That's 3 units. I mentioned it earlier, but being able to freely swing onto a foe with Fire Sweep will remove it for the rest of that enemy phase, but Fjorm has Null C Disrupt, so it's literally impossible to do that. Ice Fjorm is hilarious to me because I feel like she's in a constant state of it's so Jover and we're Baroque, but this kind of makes her into a really nasty save again. Meanwhile, the Snakes are everything but hilarious because she's still one of the tankiest armors in the game, and now she could smack you twice. God, I love and hate this game. Honestly, I think Saviors in general benefit the most from the ring, but you could still throw it on a decent Omni Tank or Cavalry with natural forward movement and Canto, or Emblem Sigurd because of course him, as well as Brave Crumb because this unit continues to get better over time and ages stupidly well. Oh hey, a conveniently timed video shoutout. But yeah, it's still a useful ring, as are the rest, but I don't think it's the most insane thing to ever release. I guess the one big benefit to this ring is that this does allow armors to bypass Emblem Lyn with miracle support since she has no natural bulk to eat a single hit. Perhaps I was too harsh on you. Wait, this just makes her worse to deal with. Perhaps I wasn't harsh enough. And now that we've gone over the brand new emblem unit, I think it's time we rank the banner on the small line graph that may or may not be small at the end of the day. And would you look at that? The brand new emblem banner has earned a 10 out of 10 on the small line graph. Congrats on getting one of the best scores a banner has ever gotten in these videos. And you may be confused as to why it's a 10 and not a 9. Well, there may be 9 actual playable Ericas in the game, but some of you may have forgotten about the title screen Erica, which makes it a 10. I don't know if that's cheating, but I don't care, it's still a 10. And you may be wondering to yourself, actually probably not this time because it's an emblem banner and those tend to be must-summon banners. However, What if I said it could be worth waiting on if not for a little bit? Emblem Erica is strong, and by default, an emblem ring is really good, so there's already a good amount of value, especially since she's sharing with Emblem Marth and Ike for a triple emblem share. That being said, it might be worth waiting a bit to see what comes out, because while she is good, I think the ring isn't so much of a must summon as much of the others have been as of late. It just seems really fun for the most part, but those limitations do affect it a good bit in my opinion. Of course, it's still a good ring, but it feels extremely limiting because of the clauses, which honestly is probably for the best if nothing else. The less IS tries to break the game in half, the better. Not to mention there's going to be a baby banner soon, which tends to have a lot of strong stuff on it, and potentially something with the 35th anniversary, but that might be outside of the emblem banner's banner window, so you might miss it. If nothing else, the emblem banner is still really good value. All of the emblem units are back. The red share is great for triple emblem share if you're in need of the others. Green is stacked with having 2 units that can duplicate skills, and Emblem Lyn is still there. And blue is only really hindered by Lumera, but she's still an offense mythic. Colorless sucks big time though. But yeah, it's mostly just food for thought, and you really couldn't go wrong with engaging with the new banner. Wait a minute, engage? Nope, I can't repeat the same joke for the 20th time. My audience, they'll find it cringe and repetitive. I don't want that. But I can't help but engage with the joke. Wait a minute. Engage? This is the one joke I don't get sick of. I don't care if I'm being repetitive and cringe. I'll be as cringe as I want. Goodbye.